We're here in Israel at what is called the wilderness of sin. As you can see, this is a very dry, barren, waste-howling wilderness. It doesn't look like a whole lot of life can grow here other than the scrubby bushes and grasses right here in the Swati. Well, this is where Moses led the children of Israel according to Jewish tradition, and this is where they spent some time in this area, possibly in this very spot. We don't know. But we do know this. The Bible gives a warning. It says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." We need to be careful, or our life will inherit this kind of area rather than the promised land, the land of milk and honey, where all the blessings flow. Jesus said we need to keep our eye single. We need to keep our eye single and our hand focused on what God wants us to do. And that means we have to have faith. Now we know Joshua and Caleb had faith, but the children of Israel refused to cross over Jordan. So they wound up, their life was spent dying in the wilderness. You don't want to die in a wilderness like this when you know there's a promised land to inherit. And so again, it says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." Two things are very important. Your call, which you need to exercise faith to God and follow his calling. And then your vocation. Your vocation is what God reveals to you to do with that call. If we miss it, we will wind up in the wilderness. Don't be like the children of Israel and wind up in the wilderness. It says today in this chapter, if you hear his voice, harden not your heart. And so in this book, Hebrews, today, it says again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If God is calling you to do something, to be a servant in some way, and he's spoken to you, don't harden your heart. You'll be like the children of Israel in the wilderness. Don't wind up in the wilderness. This is a wilderness. Don't wind up missing the blessings of God. In the wilderness, you will never know what God will have for you. Don't miss it. God's will in the promised land.